Good evening, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you here in America, those of you around the world. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving memories and gold maps in particular, but I'll get to that in a little bit later. So for now, I just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and kind of reflect a little bit. Thanksgiving for me is a time of reflection, a time of family, a time of reminiscing about experiences in the past. So I thought it might behoove us to spend a little bit of time, and I'd like you to think about it yourself. And that is, I'm going to angle this toward gold, of course. So the question is, what experience have you had around the time of Thanksgiving that relate to gold prospecting or gold or finding gold or sharing your experiences? I'm going to tell you a couple of experiences that I remember really well, and they just sort of stick. And that, to me, has always been part of what Thanksgiving is about, and that is stepping back for a moment from the hustle and bustle of life, or worse yet, the COVID 2020, okay? And asking yourself, what can you give thanks for? This is the season when memories of those times that were positive and when everyone was alive and well are so precious, because it isn't always there. And that's something to recognize as you grow older. In fact, as you grow younger. A lot of you young folks don't recognize that stuff yet, but you will, okay? And so it's important, I think, for me to kind of spend some time tonight reflecting on Thanksgiving. And so one of the things I thought I'd do is just kind of go and go through my little short list. One of the things why am I bringing this to mind? Well, I'm bringing it to mind because memories are an important part of gold prospecting, period. Okay, remember I told you, two kinds of gold. Okay, the second kind can be more important than the first. The shiny's great, but the memories are precious, okay, priceless. So I remember canyons and steep canyons with family members climbing and having adventures. I remember falling. I remember tipping a dozer over once. That not a dozer, but a front loader backhoe, and that was an interesting escapade because I had family members that thought I was as good as gone because it was on a steep hill and I was going to roll over and go on down into the canyon. We managed to skip losing Jess at that point, but I do remember how much help everybody gave me. I remember spraining my ankle and my neck and various other escapades. These things happen, but more importantly, I remember the kids coming to my aid just as recently as my wrist, okay, 2 weeks ago. Okay, so these are kinds of things that are part of what makes life, okay? I remember sunsets, way many sunsets, lightning storms, and climbing out with the dredge, getting the heck out of the water when it was, a little risky, okay? Because you don't want to be in the water when the lightning strikes a tree near you because, well, you can understand roast turkey and all that stuff. So I remember desert washes and being out there prospecting and looking at minerals and all kinds of, oh my, and trying to figure out how to keep myself cool at the same time along with the people around me. And we figured out all kinds of ingenious methods. Like I told you before, don't forget to sprinkle the water all over your shirt and get it damped down good. It makes a great air conditioner and keeps you cool, but it does use up water fast. I remember cougars. I remember dogs and pups chasing cougars. I remember fishing. I remember the kids fishing and finding fish while I'm finding gold. Hey, how fun is that? Okay, I remember dinner together in the wide open spaces, that case I was telling you earlier, and I remember stars spread overhead after the evening was done and the fire had died out. I remember looking up and thinking, wow, what a spectacle, what an amazing treat on top of all this other experience that I'm having. And of course, finding the shiny. You can't beat finding the shiny on top of all of that. So I just thought I'd kind of, give you that little Thanksgiving thought because it's important to remember all of this and gold too. That is really, really special. And that is really something to be thankful for. So that's what Prospector Jess has for you tonight. I also wanted to mention, when you're thinking about the shiny and you're thinking about how to remember these things and these events, well, one of the things you should focus on whenever you're prospecting is a map. Now, what do I mean by a map? Well, typically people think of a map as, well, the kind of thing you might download or you might get from Google or whatever. I'm talking about something a little different. I look at maps a little differently than that. And I don't know whether I made it clear enough, but maps are memories. Maps are a way of recording and memorializing, like we talked about, these events. Well, memorializing little events, little evidence of where the gold is, okay? Now, what's that about, Jess? Well, because there are lots of little indicators all over the place when we're working with gold. I've talked about them for, I don't know, the last 2 years, okay? And last decade in terms of my training. Now, what I'm getting at is, if you're not keeping a strategically defined record of that in a particular process or way of doing that, you're likely to not remember after 6 months. If you don't remember and you're working a site for any period of time, even if you're working it for a few days, you're going to forget specifically where a certain thing came from. You know, this nugget and that nugget are connected by 10 yards. This stuff in between is connected. This empty spot or these empty holes are connected. When you put the big picture together, all of a sudden you go, aha! And that is what mapping gold is all about. And the only way you're going to be able to do it is to be able to have some strategic memories. Remember I told you about the pictures that I took of the family. Memories come from having those kinds of records that you can go back to and say, okay, I didn't notice this before, but look at this pattern. Look at this line. We call those gold lines, by the way, or pay streaks. They are really, really useful, okay? Really useful. If you want to find significant gold, you want to be working one of those. So how do you find that? Well, one of the ways to do it is to map it out. But it's not as simple as just mapping the layout. You want to map a few things on top of it, including certain geographic features that you've noticed, certain indicator minerals that you've noticed. You see the pattern? So you start building something bigger. Well, I'm going to be holding a workshop, and I thought I'd bring that to your attention because tomorrow we're going to be opening up the doors to the sale for that workshop. And if you're interested, you can, on here somewhere is a picture of a placer map, little green note with some lines and a river running through it. Put your comment on there and say placer map, I'm interested, and we'll let you know more about it, and we'll invite you into the cart and all that stuff. Not the cart, but show you what it's about. The details will be released tomorrow. That's why I'm bringing it up tonight, because tomorrow's Black Friday, and this offer will be through the weekend. But I just wanted to let you in on one of the reasons I find gold more often is simply because of how I approach mapping it. And it isn't, you've seen people advertise one kind of map or another map, a claim map, this and that. It connects the dots, let's put it that way. The memories, the information, the records. It's important to be able to take all of those little memorials and put them together to get the bigger picture. I'm a big picture kind of guy, you know that. And so when I look at something and I'm trying to figure out where you should go next, I base it on where I've found stuff, but also on some of the other indicators. Tying those together is a big deal. And so what we do in this workshop is I help you with that. And it's a mano a mano or mano a mano, whatever it is. Anyway, we work on this together as a team, and we're going to be doing it through virtual meeting space, okay? And it is a workshop. There will be an output, and there'll be some inputs, and it'll be coming from you, and I'll be helping you assemble that, and we'll come up with a picture of where to look for gold. That's really the goal. So let me know what you think, and like I said, find that thing around. If not, comment on this video and say placer map workshop or placer map, and I will look for those words and contact you back. We'll find some magic way of getting a hold of you, even if it's just simply to remark on the thing. Keep your eyes open over the next few days here on Facebook or in your email, both places, depending upon whether you're on my email list or not. So we're primarily talking to people that we have focused on for this. But if you have an interest and you haven't done any mapping of any sort, I think there's the government gold maps is attached to this particular video as well. That allows you to learn how the USGS tells where gold has been found before, but that's only one of the indicators. You want to find a bunch of them and put them together into the big picture. That's the game plan, and that's what I wanted to announce. Let's practice figuring out how we can get some gold, because it's a great diversion and it leads to better mental health. Trust me. Gold prospectors, well, we're experts at mental health. We're experts at finding the shiny. So let me know what you think below in terms of your adventures in Thanksgiving and things that you know that you'd like to know about in mapping gold. Never hurts to learn some more things that you might be interested in learning as we do this thing. And like I said, just chime in and let me know if you're interested by saying placer map on this or on this other thing over here. Down below here, comments. Just comment on this thing and see there's a bunch of comments. So placer map, and all that stuff. 47 more comments. This goes on and on and on, right? So, but anyway, let me know what you think. Like I said, we were looking at doing that earlier and kind of got waylaid. We're off the waylay and onto the track. So let's get going. Let's do this. All right.